Saurav Ganguly joins us in the studio, former Indian captain and also our consulting editor. Boria Majumdar is joining us on the show from Kolkata. Welcome, gentlemen. Dada, let's talk about the Indian batting. Exactly the fear that we had, that perhaps this inexperienced middle order could be exposed. Would you agree that that was the case today once Dhawan and Kohli were out?
Yeah, it is. But you have to give these players a bit of time. They are young players. You know, Stuart Binnie, Ambati Raidu, even Ajinkya Rahane hasn't played much of one-day cricket. So let's not be too harsh on them. But obviously, without Mahendra Singh Dhoni at number 6, there was a lot of pressure on them. Dinesh Karthik once again failed. I think he's got a lot of experience in international cricket, and probably he could have shouldered on the responsibility. But yes, they collapsed after being in a good position, 194 for 4. But as we said, the lower order still got them to 260. Whether it's enough or not, we'll find out. But at least they have some score.
Well, let's just take a look at the figures. Of course, it wasn't a very good outing for Stuart Binnie. He was out for naught after being given a chance in this match. Varun Aaron, remember, was pushed out of the playing 11. He was out for naught. Jadeja carried his bat, tried to do as much as he could for 22. But Rohit Sharma, let's discuss his performance in the last few matches. Dada, we have some figures as well. Since his 209, you know, the performances that he has notched up, 30 matches since 25. You wouldn't be very happy with that, because you were very happy when he was taking, you know, his figures to that 100-run mark.
Yeah, absolutely, and it surprises me, and it's a puzzle which neither he's been able to solve, neither we've been able to solve. Because how can it be so up and down when he bats? It looks like this game cannot be easier than what Rohit Sharma does with his bat, but then he just keeps failing. I think it's got to be with his mind, because if you see, if he gets runs, he gets it in a full series. If he fails, he just fails a full series. You know, when somebody of so much talent, so much ability can't be so up and down, and he's got to get his head right. And I think there's some serious issues up there, because he's got an enormous amount of opportunities. You know, not many player in world cricket has got so much opportunities as Rohit Sharma, and duly because he's got a lot of ability. There's Pujara, who's been very consistent at the top level, but still hasn't found a place. He could be a contender at the top of the order as an opener, but he just keeps baffling everyone with the way he keeps being inconsistent for such a long period.
Right, and we will talk about Shikhar Dhawan as well. Of course, he was amongst the runs today, but I also want to look at this statistic, that Dada, you're one of the best openers India has ever had. This is the list since 2009, and Rohit has turned out to be the slowest opener since 2009. Do you find this statistic, this stat a little bit bewildering? Of course, he's in company of the likes of Sehwag, Tendulkar, Dhawan, of course, known for his attacking batting. Even Gautam Gambhir has a better strike rate than Rohit Sharma.
I'm not surprised, to be honest, because you can make out that the confidence level drops very, very quickly. So he's always trying to get back into his position, get back to getting his place, certainty in the one-day team. Because as I said, he has one good series, and then he just keeps failing. So he's always trying to get his form back, and I'm absolutely sure that it's a mental issue more than a cricketing issue.
But we thought he had crossed that barrier, isn't it, mentally?
Yeah, once again he was one series wonder against in the home series on flat batting pitches. He hasn't shown enough ability on different surfaces, South Africa and New Zealand, where the ball's done a bit, decked around a bit. I think he's been found wanting. I don't see enough determination in his game, and I think
maybe
at some
he's
stage,
slipping into that old habit of taking it too lightly.
No, I don't think he takes it lightly, because nobody wants to fail at this level. It's just that something is missing in that jigsaw puzzle, as they say, which doesn't get it together for him all the time.
I think maybe you should talk to him, Dada.
Maybe Virat Kohli should talk to him, because Virat Kohli has found a way to be very successful. I think he needs to take him away and sit with him and listen that, tell me what's your problem, and try and solve, because Virat Kohli has been remarkably consistent over a period. Even Shikhar Dhawan, other than that blip in the tour against South Africa, he's been superb.
We will talk about him actually, because the runs that he scored today came after a gap of 8 innings. Boria, before we talk about Shikhar Dhawan, I want to come to you and take your comments on the bewildering situation with Rohit Sharma. When we finally thought against Australia, he's crossed that mental barrier. He knows how to convert his 50s, 70s into 100s. Again, we're seeing a lean patch from him.
You know, it's very puzzling. I mean, Rohit Sharma is one who's fairly close to me. I keep talking to him at a regular level and try and deconstruct his mind to some extent. I mean, when he got those twin hundreds, he was full of confidence before he went to South Africa. And then in that series against Australia, where he got that double 100, you could just see, when you talk to him, you could see that Rohit Sharma is a different man. But now again, I mean, and Saurav is right here, that when he fails, he fails. I mean, 10 matches on the trot he fails. But somebody, just think of the kind of shot over mid-off for 6 in the last game. Somebody who has that ability, or the way he hooks a ball for 6. Somebody with that level of ability, failing consistently for 10 games in any part of the world is absolutely baffling. And then you tend to think, what on earth is going on with this man? So yes, maybe Virat Kohli, but why only Virat Kohli? What is the job of Duncan Fletcher? Duncan Fletcher needs to step up. That is why he's coach. Duncan Fletcher needs to talk to Rohit Sharma and get his mind right. Because Duncan Fletcher is not going to teach Rohit Sharma how to bat. Nobody at this level is supposed to teach anybody how to bat. But that's where the role of the coach is going to be very, very important.
Right. All right, let's take a look at the way the other opener today batted. Let's take a look at the wagon wheel from Shikhar Dhawan. He was going pretty well, and Dada seems to have, mentally told himself that even if I don't score at more than a run and ball, I will stay and play a longer innings today.
I think that was the right way, because once Virat Kohli got out with the inexperienced batting lineup, he needed to bat till 50 overs, or even till 47, 48. If you look at that period in that power play from 36 to 40, that's where India lost the game. They kept losing wickets, and then when Shikhar Dhawan played that shot to Ajanta Mendis, it was a bit of a desperate shot. I think somewhere he needed to go and speak to the other guy, when it was Ambati Rayudu or Dinesh Karthik or Stuart Binnie, that listen, I will bat, because I will bat till the 48 overs. I'm not going to play anything extravagant in the power play. I just keep playing cricketing shots because I'm set, and they need me at the end. Look at when Virat Kohli gets a one-day 100.
Let's play Virat's wagon wheel as well, Dada.
He bats till the end, Virat Kohli, and he takes the team through. You look at his wagon wheel again, once again brilliant. He looked in great touch. He got a great delivery, which he was trying to play for a single. That's why the bat face opened and the ball went past the bat. It was not a pitch which probably like a worn pitch leg stump and hit off stump. It just spun that much, but he opened the face of the bat to play for a single at cover and cover point, and that's what missed the blade. But coming back to Shikhar Dhawan, I thought he just miscalculated his innings at that time. And when you see that shot he got out to Ajanta Mendis, I thought it was a shot of frustration, because they were not getting enough runs in the power play.
We will discuss Ajanta Mendis' variations. In fact, I would request my producer to play the wickets of Shikhar Dhawan and Virat Kohli to see what Dada was talking about. But Boria, exactly what we were talking about earlier today, Virat Kohli being so crucial that when he goes, the middle order today kind of panicked.
Especially without Mahendra Singh Dhoni. That is the point that Saurav and I were making in the pre-show, that Virat Kohli, yes, over-reliance, and I emphasize the point to no end that there is an over-reliance on Virat Kohli, and it is coming through. But if there is a Mahendra Singh Dhoni, that is masked. That is why Mahendra Singh Dhoni is such a champion one-day batsman. Without Mahendra Singh Dhoni, there's too much for Virat Kohli to handle, and that came through today. Dinesh Karthik Saurav is dead right. I mean, he's been around in international cricket for 10 years. How long a chance does he want? Stuart Binnie, don't fault him. Coming at number 8 with 4 overs, with 1 game at his back, what do you expect of Stuart Binnie, to come and tonk the ball? That is not where Stuart Binnie is supposed to bat at number 8. So overall, there's a problem here. Right. Maybe Cheteshwar Pujara does need to get a look in place of Ambati Rayudu or somebody.
All right, let's take a look at Shikhar Dhawan though. It's always good to see him making runs, and it was especially good because this knock of 94, unfortunate for him to miss that century. He's coming after 8 lackluster performances from this man. He hasn't really been, in that kind of forms, and that begs the question, Dada, for both our openers, that are they not being able to adapt to conditions which are not familiar?
No, I don't agree to Shikhar Dhawan not being in form. Yes, you're looking at the one-day format where in South Africa and
we're not
New
talking
Zealand,
about the test here.
Test matches, he was terrific in New Zealand at the top of the order, which is the difficult part of cricket, with the red new ball, seaming green pitches in New Zealand on day 2, day 3. I thought it was a terrific effort. So for him, it's not the question of being out of form. It's just the question of missing 3-4 knocks or 5 knocks.
But do you see him getting more comfortable abroad?
Absolutely. Yeah. He just got to change his game a little bit. And I think he should take a lot of experience and a lot of confidence of those 2 test match innings. He almost got 200s. He's a bit like me, who loves getting out in the 90s. He got out in the 98 in Wellington and now 94 here. So I think that 2 test match knocks can change him as a one-day cricketer also overseas. He just needs to bat differently. There's no problem with his technique. I think he's been a lot more consistent than Rohit Sharma as an opener in one-day format. And for me, he's a terrific talent. He and Virat Kohli have been terrific players for India in the last 1 year. And I'm sure on both of them, India can take big strides forward. Again, I say there's a place for Cheteshwar Pujara in the side, and at some stage he needs to be brought into the one-day team.